Hello, my name is Mathias Vikserovik, and I have got an assignment that has the theme an impressive vessel. And yeah, that is exactly what I'm going to talk about today, an impressive vessel. But let's just start with myself. So, who am I? As I said earlier, my name is Mathias Vikserovik. I'm currently studying maritime courses at the Western Norwegian University of Applied Sciences. And I'm currently engaged politically. I am local leader of the Rogaland FPU, the youth organization for the Norwegian Progress Party. I am also a proud captain of the little sloop Ramstorff Neuenfelde or Ramstorff Neuenfelde. This is a quite old boat that was built in the 1860s or the year of 1860. Um, it is a German boat, and it is also the type the type of the boat is also a sloop. So today it stands a Ruggerini RDM 901, which is an Italian engine. I'm currently working on restoring a Norwegian one. I also have a dream that I can put this old Mana engine from Mandal in Norway into this boat, which makes a lot of better sound, I guess. Uh, and yeah, I am, as you can see out of this, I'm quite interested in old boats and ships. So yeah. Uh, So now I'm going to talk about the list of contents. I'm not going to spoil which ship I'm going to talk about quite yet. So firstly, I'm going to tell you guys a bit of the general information about the ship I have chosen. I'm going to talk more about the ship specification. I'm going to have a walkthrough of the original drawings. And I'm also going to tell you guys why I picked this vessel and um, go more into the events and the use of the vessel. And of course, I'm going to mention a conclusion of this presentation. And I'm going to talk a bit around or talk a bit of the sources that I used in this presentation. So the ship that I have chosen is the MS Rogaland, also referred to as Gamle Rogaland, or which means Old Rogaland. And yeah, uh, and yeah, the MS Rogaland. MS stands for motor ship, which is exactly the same in Norwegian, motorskip. And the MS Rogaland is a former steamship. So the former name of the ship was DS Rogaland, and in English this would be SS Rogaland. It is a passenger ship, or at least it was. It currently is today as well. And it is of the type coastal liner, not to be not to be mixed with the ocean liner, like the big ships like Titanic and Britannic and Lusitania and etc. It's not the same, but it's almost the same because the shape is quite similar. And it's in its golden era, I guess it had a a route that went from Oslo to Bergen, and from Bergen to Oslo, and Oslo to Bergen, etc. And so it went on. As you can see here, this these pictures are taken by myself. So this is here we can see at the front deck and the mast that goes up. This is quite this is taken right behind the helm, so we can see where the helmsman is standing and looking over the ship. And this is the throttle, I guess, but it is a manual throttle. So if you're going to take it on full speed ahead, you have to take it full speed ahead. So it kind of makes a ding ding noise, and that ding ding noise goes down to the engine room, and and they have to do it manually. So that they had to take the throttle manually. And that was quite normal on ships from this era, as it was built in the first part of the 1900s. So yeah, let's just go over to the ship specifications. As you can see here, the length overall is 57.11 meters, or 187.4 foot. This is not the biggest ship, although from this time period it is one of the biggest that is still are floating. The breadth of the ship is 9.45 meters. That would say 31.0 foot. And the draft is 4.10 meters, or 13.4 foot, which means that this ship can go on quite shallow waters compared to many other ships. The top speed of this ship is 13 knots, and the main engine is a General Motor Cleveland 16278A. Earlier, or the former engine that stood in this ship was a steam engine. I don't recall the name of that, but that was why it is today called MS Rogaland and not DS Rogaland, as it was named in 1929 when the ship were built. So yeah, let's just go on to the drawings. These are the original drawings of the ship, so not everything looks like it is today on the ship. What we can see here is the starboard side of the ship, as it was built in 1929. And for those of you who have heard about this ship or might have seen it from earlier, this is not how the ship looks today on the superstructure. Because of an event that happened during the Second World War, that I'm going to talk about later on, the bridge of this ship has been moved down. So on the boat deck there are no bridge today, only boats. And of course the pipe that is going here. And they moved after the war. They moved the bridge one deck down so that the salon or the first class couldn't exist anymore. They simply just removed it and put the steering house or the bridge there instead, together with the captain's cabins, etc. And here we can see the upper part of the ship. This is the boat deck, and again this is the 1929 drawing, so this is not how it looks today. As you can see here, this is the bridge today, and at the boat deck, which is not the which is not the this is not how it is today. And of course the funnel you got there, and this was the salon. That is not today, of course. And this part is up to date. You can see this today as well, which mainly consists of cabins and yeah, cabins and of course living space, etc. This is the front deck, and here you can see the rest of the lower parts of the upper part of the ship, I guess. The promenade deck is also here, and that was mainly meant for first class passengers, as the second class passengers had to go down here if they wanted to get out, or back here. Today, till this day, they all often use this as kind of a place where people have parties when they rent out the ship, and yeah. Here you can see the lower part of the ship. This was mostly for the second class passengers. And as you can see here, the ship also contained cabins for the passengers and crew. Here is the cargo hold, here and here, and here are the former steam engine. As you can see, this is in the middle of the ship, so it went straight down till the steam engine. And today there is, as I mentioned earlier, there are an old diesel engine which stand out today, which also was changed after the event that I'm going to tell you about later on. So yeah, why did I choose the MS Rogaland? Why didn't I use or choose the ship that is behind, which also has a great history? This is Sandnes. This picture is a picture that I took myself. This is in Stavanger, and Rogaland lies here, and Sandnes lies here. So why didn't I choose Sandnes? Sandnes is a much more newer ship, and it has a much more fancy interior. And yeah, that is exactly what I'm going to tell you about right now. So let's just jump into it. This event that I'm going to tell you about, where I mentioned about the steam engine that was destroyed, and the salon deck that had to be removed during they had to remove the bridge down one deck, is because of this very incident. On the 20th of April 1944, on Adolf Hitler's birthday, there happened an explosion at Bergen port. And that was due to a ship from Holland that was taken by the Germans that carried explosive, which went into Bergen. And Rogaland was doing her normal duty as a route ship that was going from Oslo to Bergen, etc. And when the ship came into the port, the ship from Holland, when the ship came into port, the ship had to lay into or when they were taking out the explosive, they were taking on it on dry land. Something happened. No one really knows, but something happened that or made that explosion, or I guess something triggered that explosion to explode. And so when Rogaland led into the harbor, it was not directly hit by the explosion, but it wasn't damaged by the explosion directly. Although the big wave that came and hit Rogaland made it so that Rogaland kind of clashed into the seafloor, or it hit against the seafloor, and water started to leak in. So, as you can see here, the event had just started, and the crew members are surely trying everything they can to save the ship, but it didn't went quite well. So after the explosion, the ship just led there, and it was they kind of got her up and going again, but as I said earlier, the salon deck and the steam engine was damaged, so they moved later on. They didn't use the ship till after the war, and the capacity of the ship was reduced a little, but personally, I think that the ship looks much better now than it was in the original drawings back in 1929. And another fact about the Rogaland is that it is the last pre-war coastal liner, or the last pre-war Norwegian coastal liner. It is and it went this popular Hurtigruten. If you ask your grandparents that is from Norway, if you know about Rogaland or the Hurtigruten, everyone knows about it. This Hurtigruten went from Bergen to Oslo, as I mentioned earlier, and it covered almost all of the western Norway. That means Hordaland and Rogaland. And the southern part of Norway, Agder-fylkene, or the Agder counties, and parts of the eastern Norway, which went into Oslo, etc. And there were many ships that sank during the war. This example here is the DS Dronning Maud, or DS Queen Maud, which was named after the Norwegian queen, Dronning Maud or Queen Maud. And here's the drawing of the Queen Maud, and they also made stamps from the sinking of Queen Maud. So yeah, one of the other reasons that I also choose to talk about this ship is that this ship is also kind of a movie star. This ship was used to play in the movie Dunkirk from 2017, and they also repainted the ship for this very occasion as a hospital ship. Of course, Rogaland has never been a hospital ship, nor will it ever be, I guess. But because of the shape of the ship and the looks of it, this made Rogaland a perfect hospital ship. No one actually knew that Rogaland was going to play in a movie after they announced it, because it was going to be a secret. So when they painted this ship white, no one knew what it was for. And here you can also see that this is a news report that was made after the movie was announced. So yeah, I'm going to show you now a movie clip from this very movie that shows Rogaland at its very saddest moment, I guess. And why I tell you this, you can find out for yourself. So yeah, let's just play the movie. So yeah, to sum it all up, MS Rogaland, it is historical, it is traditional, and it is sensational. Um, of this ship, you can get a glimpse of a time where ships actually looked like ships. I guess in a matter of aesthetics. That means that this was the time or an era that uh, everything weren't exactly as practical as it is today, although ships were formed, curved very nicely, in my opinion. And another reason of why I think that this ship is sensational is that Warner Bros. Had to come all the way to Norway to get the perfect hospital ship. And it is the last pre-war floating Norwegian coastal liner. So yeah, when it comes to my sources, I have used Wikipedia a bit. I also used some news articles from Aftenbladet. I've used Gamle Rogaland or Rogaland's own net page, where it's had a lot, or it had a lot of information. I also used this site, lokalhistory.no, which means localhistory.no, which said a lot about the route that Rogaland sailed during her lifetime, from or not her lifetime, but her um, route time from 1929 till 1964. And I also used the IMDb for information about the movie Dunkirk, and I also used the Facebook page from for Rogaland to get pictures, information, etc. So yeah, that was me and my presentation. I hope you liked it, and yeah, thank you for watching.